Hey everybody, and welcome to the very first episode of the Freelance Dota vlog. This is going to be different than most of the episodes because my new streaming setup isn't all ready to go, but we'll just go right into it. In future, this is probably going to be my least professional out of all the stuff I put out. Going to be something that I just throw together when I have spare time, maybe like every week or two. I wouldn't commit to doing it more than that. And in the future, maybe these will be live. In the future, like once I get my green screen set up again, I'll have my face cam on and stuff like that. Um, just this is going to be the kind of thing that I put out whenever I have something to tell you guys about, but I don't have enough time to wait until something like a regularly scheduled stream to do so. So, welcome to episode 1 of the vlog. What is this show going to be all about in the future? Well, I've just moved. I've been wanting to start this show for more than a few months now, but seriously, I've been getting ready to start all of these Twitch show ideas I have for the past maybe 2 months, and now that I'm getting settled into my new abode, it's less than ideal. I might be moving again within the year, but for right now, I think I have pretty much what I need. The internet is slower at this place, but overall, I'm happy with the way my, at least, office area is set up. And maybe as soon as next week, we're going to have the very first live episode of the DotaTheory show. So for anybody who hasn't been following along, I'm planning to do one show a week on Thursdays, and they'll be alternating every other week, plus this show. So this is just going to be whenever I get around to it, but the other two are regularly scheduled on Thursdays. I have been doing patch reaction shows on Thursdays for the past, almost 5 months. I started doing it in I did the first one for Dueling Fates, but then since then I've basically done every single patch. I think I might have missed one, but either way, it's a show that's open to the public, and for right now it's just called Freelance and Friends Patch Reaction Show. That's always on my Twitch channel, which is of course FreelanceDota on Twitch. But that show definitely not taking off the way I've been wanting to, so this week I'm planning to advertise it on Reddit and hopefully invite some people formally. So it's going to be a smaller patch this week, I would assume. It's going to be dropping during GESC Thailand Minor, which is actually starting in like 30 minutes. So hopefully this will be a short show, but either way, this isn't live, of course. So you guys won't be missing the start of GESC, so don't worry about it. The other show I'm doing is about custom Dota games and Dota item concepts and hero concepts, which is something that I've always been most passionate about more than anything else about Dota. And that show, I wanted to start last week. I would like to start this week, but I should just try to do it on the regular alternating Thursday, which would be next week. So my goal is to do, basically there's going to be an episode 0 of that show that's just me pre-recorded, and it's going to be premiered on my Twitch with a live broadcast, but won't be recorded live. That will hopefully be this week or early next week, so stay tuned for that. I don't know when this vlog's going to go out. Alright, so that's all the programming notes. So, who am I? If you guys are new to the mystery, the wonder of Freelance Dota, who is this guy? Who's talking to me right now? Well, I figured this is the best chance I'm going to have to give you guys a little background info, so without boring you with my, how I like to play Dota, because everybody has their own thing. I'm sure you guys all enjoy playing, whatever it is you enjoy. Like, I enjoy random draft, and I've always been all about playing Dota, the way I think a lot of people agree it's meant to be played, which is for fun, to experiment with heroes and enjoy doing that. And obviously I want to win. I've never been one of these people who's like, yeah, fun's more important than winning, but I'm such a perfectionist in everything I do that often that leads to me just not wanting to play Dota when I'm not feeling well. And, it's actually been like a good solid year since I've played Dota regularly, maybe even longer at this point. Back in college I had a lot more time to play, so now that I've, I went and got a job as a computer engineer. That was great for a little while, but I'm back to pursuing my dreams right now, which is to do this whole Dota thing. And for me, the part of Dota that I think I'm uniquely skilled at is the hero part, making up ideas. And, everybody wants to be Ice Frog. I understand that. But the more time you spend at it, the longer you, I don't know, I feel like it's an art form and you have to practice it. So that's kind of why I'm creating this community. Is I'm not sure how many other people like me are out there, but I intend to get them all together under one roof, and we're gonna have a great time hanging out and enjoying this community that I'm hoping to start. So for those of you who do know me, you might know that I also am a Reddit moderator. I moderate RUNTIME, the home of the real theory crafters for Dota. There's lots of other communities that have theory crafting, but I think we're really the only one that was created by theory crafters for theory crafters. And it's not the same thing as like Dota Concepts, which you guys might be familiar with as well, which is about sharing item and hero concepts. This is different. Dota 2 is about the game. And, theory crafting about the game does include predicting things like new heroes or items, but that's only a very small part of it. And so I've always been the kind of person who likes to go on Reddit and make my predictions publicly and go back and analyze my predictions and see if I was right. So I'm the kind of person who can proudly say that I predicted lots of mechanics that have been added to the game and things like that. It doesn't matter to most people, but I love that kind of stuff. And if you're like me, like the idea of a fantasy Dota prediction league, like predicting what items and heroes might be added to the game, that's like what dream levels of excitement. Ugh. Just gets me so excited thinking about it, which is why I'm creating this website that's been in front of you this whole time. Finally, I remember to talk about it. So those of you who are not familiar with my work, this is one thing I spent a lot of time on. And you'll see, of course, there are items you're familiar with on this page, but there's items that you're not familiar with. So all of the ones that have the colored borders are the custom items here. So if you've never been to my website, you can go to the live version at DotaTheory.com/items is this page. There's also, of course, the heroes page, which I was going to show you guys a little bit of. But anyway, what I wanted to have this up for is because I want to start getting to the point where this website is usable. So for anybody who is inclined to watch this video, I just wanted to show you guys the few parts of the website that are usable and get some, feedback. Maybe usable is an overstatement, but the parts of the website that are close to usable, I want to see what you guys think about this stuff. So the rest of the show at this point, I could tell you guys how I've been doing in more detail, which was kind of the point of this episode, which is, in short, I've been, not doing great, but I'm hanging in there. Doing this stuff is totally what keeps me going right now. So I'm just going to keep going talking about what I like, which is this stuff. And at the end of the show, there will be some more info, though. Only going to be another 15 or 20 at most. But I will be inviting anybody who wants to join all of the communities that I'm helping to grow right now. So True Dota 2, our Discord is a great place to be. You can add me in Discord. But also, I'm starting a new Discord, so I need to mention that before we go on. It's actually a Dota Theory Discord. So what is Dota Theory? You've seen the name, you've heard me mention it, you've probably clicked on things that say Dota Theory, but you're not sure what it is. Dota Theory is my idea for, taking the natural progression of all these communities I'm already a member of, like True Dota 2 and Dota Concepts, and evolving them into something that fits my needs, and hopefully fits the community's needs. I want to make a website that's the go-to fan site for everything Dota 2, but I want to approach it from the angle, not of like join Dota 2, the website. They do news and competitive stuff, which is great. There's Dota Buff and Open Dota, which do, analysis and statistical stuff. I'm interested in doing both of those aspects and also guides. But what I'm really interested, because nobody else does it right now, does it in a way that I find compelling anyway, is item concepts and hero concepts. So what's compelling about this? Well, it's going to be fully interactive. And I know a lot of you have probably seen my items before, which is not the point of this. But if you haven't seen it, the only one you can click on right now is Kaya, but please go and click on Kaya. This is where you get more info. The changelogs feature is another huge part of what I'm building, and I'll talk about that in just a second. But basically, the point of this page is, for right now, it's all my items, but in the future, you're going to be able to see other people's items, and basically imagine this is like the front page of a social network, almost, for Dota. So imagine that every item that is a custom item that is featured here is popular. So you're not going to see all of the new posts by authors who aren't as experienced or, stuff like that. Basically, you're not going to see spam on this front page. The URL will not change. It's going to be DotaTheory.com/items forever. That page will continue to be what it is, which is this page. But in the future, basically, everybody's items will be visible, not just my items. And you'll be able to go in and, among other things, give feedback. So that's what this right panel here is. There's also going to be, hopefully, eventually, automatically generating synergy and statistics about items. That's something that I'm extremely optimistic about in the long term. But that requires me to probably team up with someone like OpenDota or find some really good developers. But as far as the feedback I was talking about, basically imagine that you're Ice Frog, or you're just an author like myself, and you want some feedback on your items. Well, this is the way to get it. So you can actually go in, and people, the plan is actually for you to be able to vote in real time. There's this platform I want to use called Meteor. That's a JavaScript real time engine, basically, that lets you do stuff like voting on like a Reddit-like functionality in real time. So that's what I'm hoping I'm going to have implemented. But basically, imagine being able to, if you are not pleased with some changes in a patch, have somewhere constructive to go and actually fill out a form and say what you think is wrong with that item. It's going to be publicly visible. All of the feedback will be essentially like, I'm going to make templates for feedback so people aren't just giving you random comments and stuff like that. It's going to be very rigorous, everything on this website. Scores will be used to calculate what appears on the front and things like that. But overall, it's supposed to be a big step away from Reddit and everything that Reddit brings with it, which I'm happy to say that I think we'll be better off without. Anyway, so the changelogs feature is something I'm really excited about because I wish I had it ready to go. As you can see, this is way out of date. But the idea of this feature is this will be actually a whole separate page in addition to showing just item changes on this page. There will be a whole separate page where you can see all of the changelogs for all the patches, and basically it's almost like a mini game. It'll be a website that's dedicated to sharing and discussing patch logs. And so since we're getting patches every 2 weeks, this is the perfect time in Dota history to unveil this kind of thing. But basically you're going to be able to go in and you have one vote per category per patch. So you can vote on what you think is the biggest item change, the biggest hero change, the biggest overall mechanical change, and then there might be another category. But suffice it to say, like a map change or something like that. But there might be as many as 4 categories or something like that, and you'll be able to essentially have those 4 votes, and that's all you get. Everybody has the same 4 votes. So there's lots of other mechanics to this website that I have planned out. I've written it all out in kind of like a manifesto that I would love to share one day, but we're not quite there yet. At the time of recording this show, there's stuff I'm still getting ready for my next 2 episodes of other shows. So there's just a lot going on right now. I did want to go ahead and talk about some of the stuff I'm doing personally, though, in my own work, and talk about, why I'm sharing this stuff. I really have been learning a lot as I spend more and more time doing this stuff. I feel like I just notice new things all the time. And considering that I don't play that much Dota myself, I mostly watch right now, I think it's instructive. I think other people could learn from this, what I'm doing. But that will be a whole video series, of course, that I'm going to teach you to the best of my ability how I make heroes, and hopefully you'll get the same results I do. But that's something I'm going to hopefully record tomorrow. But I want to tell you about this process, and a lot of these ideas I've had kicking around for a very long time, like no joke, a long time. Kaya, my original name for this item was Lucen, Lucen, like that. And I actually got, I went through dozens of versions of this item before I even posted them publicly. I think prior to October 2015, when I first publicly posted it, I must have had 2 years of notes going back before that. So I wasn't necessarily going, I'll just flash it for a second. One thing I recommend to everybody is to set up some kind of system so you can start storing your ideas long term. You want to be able to write down ideas you have now so you can come back to them a long time from now. If you're serious about doing this kind of thing, and I should have already mentioned it, but one thing I want to talk about is why I'm so serious about this stuff, and that's actually going to be the topic of episode 0 of the DotaTheory show, the bi-weekly show I'm going to be starting soon. That's going to be me talking just to myself, so if you guys have any thoughts about the topic, feel free to PM me. But in short, the reason I'm so serious about this stuff is because I think eventually Dota is going to be adding lots of player-created content to the game, just like TF2 was, and just like Counter-Strike, and even Dota already do. So I do think that this is going somewhere, and I think maybe this official Valve support for this kind of thing is going way up. So saving your ideas now, like I'm doing here, is going to be really important. So this is my setup. I've been evolving it and improving it recently because of how busy I've been. but I use iCloud Notes. I'm going to take it off that page because I need to show you guys that hero. Basically, I'm going to I created 2 new heroes over this past weekend. It took me like 72 hours maybe to get them both cranked out all the way, which was, that's pretty fast for me. But I created them just for this video I'm doing, so I'm going to save those heroes. I'm going to tell you guys about all the other stuff I've been working on recently, though, and I'll walk you through kind of where I'm at as far as, my thought process. Why are we at this point? So if you guys remember, we're in the era right now of patch 7.14, which is, of course, a patch that, among other things, changed some items, and of course there were hero changes, but we've got, the 7.13 perk changes to deal with. I actually haven't implemented the perk changes here on the website that we're looking at right now, so I will show you guys. I've been working on a new a spreadsheet. Fun spreadsheet is what I should have called it, but basically I've now got a spreadsheet that auto-generates all of the perk this stuff, because God, was it painful to have to do that by hand before. But now hopefully within the next 2 days I will have all of the perks on the website updated, and maybe some other surprises. I'm going to be doing some changes to some items. So patch 7.14, I'm not going to pull up the notes. You can go find it yourself if you're interested. But for example, one of the big changes, it's not reflected here, but phase boots, I'm going to refresh this page so that goes away. Phase boots now gives increased turn speed during its active. So immediately, the first thing that made me think of was I have an item that does turn speed. And it means that this item no longer works the same way because there's now another option. So that's one big area I need to change. Here's another interesting thing that I'm thinking about right now. Javelin used to be 1500 and it's now 1100 and has been for a while, but the trend seems to be that Javelin is being made a powerful item for its cost, and it's now in more things. It was in fewer things before, now it's in Maelstrom, things like that. So I was using it in this recipe right here, and I think I'm going to have to change it. It just doesn't work anymore. It's too convenient now. It used to be kind of weird to have a Javelin there because Javelin, when I created this recipe, Javelin was only in like 2 or 3 things. Javelin's now in about 4 or 5 things, plus it's in one of my other items, so it's a little much. So we're going to have to change that. This item is my own custom boots upgrade that uses vector targeting. It's like a short-range blink, basically, but it's vector targeted, so you can turn also. It's like instant turn rate. It's almost like the new phase boots active. So I'm going to have to change that. I already made some changes that if you guys have been following me on Discord, you'll have seen, or on Reddit, actually. I posted them on Reddit. So I changed these items recently, these 2, and all of their constituents. Some tier 4 items I made up. So we'll be keeping a close eye on all of those items I just kind of hovered. All of those will be continuing to get updates. If you go on my Discord server, the one I've mentioned already, if you're interested in joining, of course, at the end of the show, I'll give you guys my info so you can come get a hold of me. But that's where I've been posting all of this stuff more regularly. And I kind of just blog my thoughts as I go along, mostly on this Discord channel that I've started. But the idea is basically anybody who is interested in, I don't know if I would say learning from me, but just being a part of this community and maybe having the chance for me to look at their ideas. This new Discord I've started, the goal is to basically make a daily practice out of creating items and heroes, of course. And so that's what this is all about, is vocalizing early and often and getting feedback as early and often as possible. All right, so that was a lot. I do want to go ahead. There's 3, if you guys were following my Twitter, it's at FreelanceDota, of course, which it says at the bottom of the screen if you are looking. But I've actually teased 4 heroes, but I've shown one of them. So one of them was I don't have it pulled up. Okay, well, here's one of them. I have an early preview that I've set out. The other one, I've released one called, basically he's lore related to Skywrath. He's called Nox, the Aerie Sentinel. I get a real kick out of the fact that he abbreviates to ES, because there's already 3 of those. We don't really need another one, but anyway. So actually, that's one of the heroes that I don't imagine I will be making too many changes to, but we'll see. Anyway, Hyperius is probably my favorite hero I've created in a very long time, and you guys can obviously read as much as you want right here, but I haven't revealed him publicly yet, but what I'm going to do is in the first episode of my next of the DotaTheory show, episode 0, that should be, as I already mentioned, either this week or early next week. When I release that, I'm going to release this on Reddit, and basically between episode 0 and episode 1, I'm going to try to get as much feedback as I can, so in episode 1, I can talk about the feedback I got. So this is probably my favorite concept I've made in recent memory. He probably still needs changes. Doesn't strike me as balanced necessarily. I was trying to say a moment ago, the first hero I made, or talked about releasing Nox, he seems like mechanically he's a little overpowered. He introduces some strong elements to the game, but I do think he would be, because of how high a mechanical skill is required to play the hero, I feel like he'll be balanced in his current form. Hyperius, on the other hand, is not really like that. This is a hero that, I'll just tell you guys what his ultimate does. It does a lot of things, but one thing that it does is gives like a ton of turn rate slow, like Batrider levels of turn rate slow. And I'm worried that mechanic is too strong on its own because it's not stacking like Batrider. It's instant. It's in an area on the ground that you cast, but Phase Boots directly counters it, obviously. So it's interesting to me. We will have to watch and see how this whole turn rate mechanic develops, because I basically created a hero in Hyperius that is, basically his whole concept is his ultimate grants him a resource that he manages, and when he expends it, he's trading guaranteed defensive capabilities for convenience. So he gets the ability to cast his spells more often or quicker, but at the expense of losing some of his defensive capabilities. So it's an interesting hero to me for that reason. And I just love his playstyle. It's like a short-range nuker. It's a little bit like a more high-risk, high-reward version of Lena or something like that. But he does have defensive abilities, so it's not like you're hopeless when you get caught, unlike other heroes in this category. So I do really look forward to seeing, oh man, just thinking about it, I would just love to see what people could do with this. There's been mods that have even gone so far as to put some of my heroes in the game before, but yeah, that's really where I'm hoping this all is going, is eventually I hope some of my heroes are playable. Whether it's just a mod or whether it's official, I don't really care. But man, just like thinking of all the possibilities with itemization, with the something like this, or some of my other heroes, I'm having a really great time with it. And I hope you guys, in some small way, enjoy me talking about it, because I hope it's infectious. But let me know if you have feedback about the format of this vlog. My face will be on camera in one of the next few episodes. I'm not going to swear to you it'll be the next one. But in the meantime, thanks for listening, guys. If you're interested in getting updates in the meantime, you can, of course, go to my Twitter, which is, of course, twitter.com/FreelanceDota. You can also find me on Reddit. You freelance fox right there. Finally, the really important one, this is not as public, it's up here at the top. My Discord ID. Please add me on Discord if you'd like to get into my new Discord. It's invite only. It's called DotaTheory, of course. And the point is to gather people who are interested in making a daily practice out of Dota concepts and making it into something that's hopefully a friendly, active daily community. Something I've always dreamed about, and something that I'm tired of waiting for other people to just come around and invent. So it's time to make the thing I've always wanted, and that's what this whole project is. So I hope you guys are on board and along for the ride. Thank you once again for listening. Episode 2 will be coming out as soon as I have some more news, but in the meantime, the best place to get my news is on Twitter. So follow me on Twitter or go to the DotaTheory Discord channel where I do give regular updates. Thanks so much for listening, and if you guys once again want to get into the new Discord, please contact me, Freelance6542 on Discord. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you within the week for the first episode of the DotaTheory show.